Good evening and welcome to tonight's Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. I am Oyi Okbala. Let's begin. For the Ambazonian people, May 20th is a painful reminder of the day they lost their federated state and autonomy. In 1972, a unilateral referendum led to the adoption of a new constitution, effectively abolishing the federal system and stripping southern Cameroons of its self-governance. This move has been contested by the Ambazonian government, who have clearly said it was an annexation by the Cameroonian government. To many Ambazonians, May 20th symbolizes the loss of their cultural identity and the beginning of marginalization and, above all, abuse. Do we talk about the internally displaced persons, refugees, and those behind bars who view this day as a stark piercing of their ongoing struggle for self-determination? In observance of this day, the Amazonian government has declared a general lockdown on the 20th of May 2025, urging citizens to boycott colonial government-organized ceremonies. This move is a testament to the community's commitment to resisting Cameroon's autonomy and authority and asserting their independence. The Ambazonian War, which began in 2016, has led to a protracted armed conflict between the Cameroon government and Ambazonian government. This war has resulted in thousands of deaths, displacement, and widespread human rights abuses. The Ambazonian people continues to demand recognition of their right to self-determination and an end to the marginalization as they say no to May 20th celebration. All these and more, we'll take a look at tonight's Undaunted. But before then, let's take the prime headlines. Here are the prime headlines for tonight. Well, Ambazonians continues to maintain Monday ghost town at the eve of the 20th May declared lockdown. Malende residents protest against colonial military harassment in Muyuka. Also tonight, Fulani youths go violent in Womb after other Fulani herdsmen kidnapped one of their own. Queen Kennedy, a young Ambazonian, raises country's flag high in the USA. All the African scene, Kenyan presidential candidate has been deported from Tanzania. While on the global scene, BRICS meeting fails to reach consensus amidst internal rifts. Now let's get the news in full briefings. Today, May 19th, Monday Ghost Town has been effective like the previous Mondays. Although Ambazonians will be observing tomorrow's lockdown to sanction any colonial May 20th celebrations. The May 20th celebration, like any other La Republic to Cameroon organized activities, has been banned in Ambazonia. The Ambazonian government has reminded Ambazonians of their commitment towards colonial government organized ceremony, making Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, a general lockdown. Though Ambazonians will be indoors tomorrow, they have decided to keep the long-standing Monday Ghost Town tradition. The Ambazonian government has been enforcing Monday ghost towns in Ambazonia as a form of civil disobedience to pressure the Lao Republic Cameroon government into resolving their grievances. Given the upcoming declared lockdown on May 20th, Ambazonians have given today, Monday, May 19th, the usual observation. In the Ambazonian states of the Cameroons, ghost towns have become irregular occurrences every Monday, with shops and businesses closed, roads as well get empty. This form of protest has been ongoing since 2017. The ghost towns and the lockdowns have significantly impacted the state's economy, with estimated losses of 777.26 billion francs, over 4% of national wealth in 2019. Businesses struggle. Many businesses have been shut down or relocated due to repeated ghost towns and lockdowns. Tax revenue declines. Municipalities face significant shortfalls in revenue collection due to reduced economic activities. Also, residents struggle to make ends meet, with some resorting to taking risks to earn a living on Mondays. In as much as some critics have suggested transforming the Monday Ghost Town tradition into a community service day, which would help them focus on environmental cleanliness and awareness, our in-house analyst Barrister Mbeseha believes that Ghost Town Day should just be a day where people do nothing and observe the day by strictly sitting at home. While we'll get to Barrister Mbeseha, it is important for us to also emphasize that the Ambazonian State Army has issued a stern warning ahead of the National Day celebrations. The Ambazonian State Army's national spokesperson has cautioned Ambazonians that the days leading to May 20th will be, in quote, deadly. Now, this, of course, this means that people are not allowed to move ahead. All right, Barrister Mbeseha, you're welcome to tonight's Undaunted.
Thank you for having me once more, although I've been absent for a while.
All
Again,
right.
this is
So the Ambazonian State Army's national spokesperson has cautioned Ambazonians that the days leading to 20th May will be, in quote, deadly. And so this warning comes as the Cameroonian government prepares to commemorate National May 20th Day, which Ambazonians views it as a celebration of their annexation. So in the light of the upcoming celebrations, the spokesperson has urged Ambazonians to stay home on May 20th, as all marches and celebrations have been banned in Ambazonia. So this move reflects the ongoing tensions between Ambazonian government and, of course, the Cameroonian government. Before we get you to analyze this and to throw more light on this, would want to get a 1 minute audio, just a little bit except from the spokesperson, what he said.
Good day, fellow Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians. Today, na Monday, May the 19th, 2025. This one, Ambazonia State Army, national spokesperson, they come live this evening. I go send special 21-second salute for all Ambazonia State Armies who they fight so hard for defend Ambazonia from the hands of this criminal, Paul Biya Bilvondo, Bartholomew, the terrorist sponsored by France, United Kingdom, and some other criminal Western nations. Fellow Ambazonians, I come this evening for tell Ambazonians, so the days ahead it be deadly. Yes, when I see our criminal occupational forces and the administrators that they disintegrate our chiefdom because of some criminalism, what they call themselves French Cameroon associate. When I black legs, when I hear how this fool, where I call himself say Dr. Atem Ebako, I don't know what I merit the title of a doctor. What common deal, occupational administrator. It command the chiefs them. May they come march for 20 May. What a laughable affair. What a disgrace for some of these criminals. What they call themselves, they say they be doctors. I don't know if they been a traditional doctor or a doctor of fools. Yes, Ambazonians. We don't pass that stage. And French Cameroon, they don't confess to the criminal leader for France. Say they try to assimilate Ambazonians. But still yet, this criminalism, they leak the last on daily basis. But thank God Ambazonia is here to stay. We will not liberate ourselves since 2019. All these so-called false and chiefs, they don't exist in Ambazonia. They don't represent Ambazonian people. They represent themselves and their pocket. Our brother dethrone all these funds and they live in hidings. They don't even move freely in Ambazonia because they know say they be accomplices of the BR regime for killing Ambazonians. See how disgraceful they don't turn these criminals these chiefs for being yard boys by Okala Bilai and the criminal SDO for inside the southern zone. What a disgrace for this criminal fellow Ambazonians. I tell Ambazonians, say tomorrow, now the worst day for Ambazonian history. We don't put 20 Mesa Coven, Nenam, Beriam since 2017. So any Ambazonians, what you like in life, any foreigner is Ambazonia, stay at home and stay safe. Not find yourself inside crossfire because the days ahead it gonna be deadly. Tomorrow now the worst day for Ambazonian history. Make you not mind the criminal them where they call themselves president of House of Chiefs. This fool, where say be doctor, which kind doctor will not get common sense? You never get knowledge for understand the historical fact in Ambazonia. It is still leak the last for French Cameroon. It is called a doctor Atem Ebako. Me thunder fire you for Saturday day, our entire generation. But the day go fall into the hands of defender of the land. You go confirm code. Yes, this message now for you, criminal and your subjects, when they prepare for leak French Cameroon ass for 20th May celebration. Where Ambassador Ron Banham since 2017. I want to send this warning. It's in Meme County. Kumba in particular, we don't receive message. Say some Bambeleke them, some Francophones, as other doorhead Ambazonians them. They want march tomorrow for 20 May with Maurice Kamto in uniform. We tell Ambazonians, say we gonna stay away from 20 May. I wanna stay from anything election. Whether be SDF, you be Maurice Kamto, you be PAP, you be Kawala, you be Kabari, you be Wu. We don't want no political agenda. It's Ambazonia. We not carry on politics go across the border for French Cameroon Republic. We not carry on a political agenda go across the border for French Cameroon Republic. We the one Ambazonians. We not stay clear for anything go in danger on our life because none never hide. Nobody go take part for 20 May or go take part for politics. It's Ambazonia, you go hide. We go fish you out anywhere you day. No stone, it go be left unturned. And you want all Bambeleke them, all foreigners, including some foolish Ambazonians. Stay at home and stay safe. We get ghost fighters everywhere. They monitor the situation. And if we catch you, you don't get nothing for talk. You go face death penalty. We don't want Ambazonians. We don't want everybody. 20 May is banned in Ambazonia. All political parties are banned in Ambazonia. We not stay clear and we not stay safe. Saudi Cameroon is there for war. We don't talk say independence or nothing more. We go fight until one man standing. Sheshek Inode, Boya, now final bus stop. Stay at home and stay safe. Surely the struggle. May God bless Ambazonians.
All right, Barrister Mbeseha. This is it. So first of all, today we got reports that the ghost town was respected. Moving on, we got this from the spokesperson of the ASA, who is giving a stern warning to all Ambazonians to stay home tomorrow and stay safe. As a legal mind and as an Ambazonian who has gone through all of the phases in this war, at least for the past 20, 30, even 40 years, what would you have to say about this?
Well, there are two things involved there. The ghost town itself and the warning from the Ambazonian Army spokesperson, which is specifically related to the May 20th. So analyze the two together. Let us take the ghost town. We have emphasized many times before that the ghost town is a symbolic sign of disobedience. A ghost town, individuals involved who are asked to stay home, it does not hurt you in any form or shape. just lying in your house and sleeping or eating and drinking. It hurts you nothing. But it hurts the enemy. And that is why they have done everything possible to make sure there's no ghost town. There's no lockdown on Mondays. It hurts them terribly. So they feel the pinch. And therefore, given what we've gone through since 1961, with the respect of this single day in a week, call it Country Sunday, hurt you in any form or shape. Most of us in Ambazonia are Christians. At least we go to church on Sunday voluntarily. So the important thing is the word called Sunday. The Sunday of the one man who will go and meet pastors and priests is different. The Country Sunday, which deals with the Monday ghost town, is also a Sunday by our own culture. That's why we call it Country Sunday. So we do not need all this emphasis from this secretary, from the spokesperson. If we had learned to just do the right thing. But a number of us just disobey. They don't want to do anything, either because they don't understand or because they understand. And they have a different interest, an interest to serve the people. Is there any Ambazonian who will honestly say that what has been going on since 2017, the killings, the burning of homes and everything that you can talk about, does not hurt him or her? It hurts you, directly or indirectly. And so what is the problem just respecting that day to show that you disagree with what is going on? Absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you choose to go out, as people are saying, and you take the risk, you suffer the consequences. Like any other law, there are people who are just there to violate the law. That's why we come out with these penalties. That's why there are sanctions. That's why there are repercussions if you violate the ghost town. And so it has been there since 2017. We are now 8 years, 9 years into it. It should be respected. Not because you don't like, but because it hurts the enemy. It tells the enemy that something is wrong. It reminds the world that there's a big problem unsolved. And so people should be encouraged. Those who have been disobeying it should be encouraged for their own safety first, for their own interest as civilians, that's civil disobedience, to show concern for what is happening to their brothers. If you have not been directly affected, if you have not lost a relative, a brother, a sister, a son, a daughter, if you've not lost a home as an individual, someone else has done. Your neighbor has lost a home. Your daughter has lost a home. Your wife has lost her farm just because of this struggle. So there's nothing actually wrong. It doesn't hurt you. It hurts the enemy. And so if you feel the pain, what does it cost you to press more pain on him or her to listen to you? That's as far as Monday Ghost Town is concerned. It has become routine. Even the government recognizes it. That's why government offices are closed on every single Monday. And if you choose to violate it, well, you bear the consequences. Then come May 20th, which today is not the eve of May 20th. What does May 20th signify? May 20th signifies death for British Southern Cameroon. And in respect of that, I personally had recommended that the least an Ambazonian would do, a British Southern Cameroon would do, would be to mourn, to be in black because of that day. Which is why I find myself, I'm in total black. And I'll wear the black through tomorrow. Because the day that every regional Southern Cameroonian should mourn, that was the day of our own demolition. The day we were killed. The day we were completely killed. But luckily, we didn't die completely. That's why we're trying to resurrect ourselves. And so, May 20th, we have already told the story. It need not be retold. It was a failed referendum that abolished our own institutions. It brought us to where we are. And then that would take me to the second message, which is sent by the spokesperson. He is addressing Dr. Atom Ebako. Dr. Atom Ebako happens to be the chief, the president of the Southwest House of Chiefs. Dr. Atom Ebako is a native of Talangai. He's supposed to be the chief of Talangai, near Mayaman, between Mayaman and Ngudi. His village called Talangai has less than perhaps 10 people. but he's the chief of the village. So he represents an interest in our tradition. He represents the chiefs. Chieftaincy, traditional authority has a role to play in our own demise. But why is Dr. Etame Bakura acting the way he has done? And why is the spokesperson addressing him the way he is doing? It is because Dr. Atame Bako, as an individual, is a medical doctor, so he has read. He's not an illiterate. If he has not read, he has the ability to read. He should know what happened in 1972. If he didn't study it, there are books about it. There are articles about it. You can read and write. The bulk of people we hate over there, calling themselves chiefs in the House of Chiefs. By the law of Cameroon, to even be a chief, to belong to that house, you must be literate. You must be able to read and write. So all of them in that house can read and write. And so, why is Dr. Atem Bako crying foul? And why is somebody coming out to challenge him? It is simply because perhaps Dr. Atem Bako and the people follow him to the chieftaincy don't even understand what May 20 stood for. What they are going through now is a consequence of May 20, 1972. Because it's after May 20 that they abolished our institutions, that they struggled and they have continued to struggle to redo chieftaincy as they want, not as it is in the so-called Northwest and Southwest in the present today Ambazonia. After 1972, May 20th, 2 years, 5 years to it, Paul Ahijo passed a decree, decree number 77 to 24577 of 15 July 1977. That decree purports to regulate chieftaincy. It is under chieftaincy law, which is as a result of the abolition of our institutions, that Atem Ebaku finds himself sitting somewhere calling himself the president of the House of Chiefs, that he finds himself sitting somewhere being recognized as a chief. And so that law itself, if Dr. Atem Ebaku has not read, if any Ambazonian has not read, you better go and read it. Then go and read Article 4 and 5 of that decree. In addition to that, even read Article 26 of that same decree. The time is coming when those chiefs and fonts, or whoever calls himself a traditional ruler, are going to be forced to wear uniforms designed by the state. Is this a threat? No. Is there a precedent for this? Of course. The Republic has never recognized the chieftaincy institution. The French tried to reform the chieftaincy institution in the Republic. And there's that evidence so glaringly clear there. When they came in, they met Owondo chiefs. Owondo chiefs dressed in their own traditional attire. They met the Shawa chiefs who dressed in their own traditional attire. But they killed the institution and created their own chiefs. Among them, Yaoundé was the capital, which is important. Yaoundé was the capital when the French came in and remains the capital today. The chief of the Owondos, as per the French, was somebody called Atangana. They designed it himself. They designed a uniform for him himself, for themselves, which was a khaki uniform with a beret just like the sous-prefets and prefets. His statue is in Yaoundé. There, if you go to Yaoundé, if you know Yaoundé very, very well, in the central post office, you go left, you find the statue of Chief Atangana standing there, mounted there in khaki and a beret. He's putting there the chief of the Owondos. Is that what the Owondos wore before the French arrived there? No. Certainly they dressed in their own native attire. So the same thing is coming to affect the so-called chiefs of the Northwest, Southwest, like it or not. Because you cannot eat their cake and have it. A good number of them are struggling for the penny, that kind of thing. The small money that they pay them, for whatever reason they pay them some money. And they go and take the money. That money is provided for in the decree. The classification they give them, class 1, class 2, first class, second class, third class, is provided for in that decree. So you cannot go in for first class chief as per the decree, or second class, or third class, or take salary as per that decree, and then refuse the other elements of the decree. It's just not possible. You cannot eat a cake and have it. Reject all, or you take all. And so that is what it is. Atem Bako and the rest of his following are just trying to sit on the fence. There's no fence sitting in this thing. Just before we came here, I read something on the social media saying that even the so-called president of the Southwest Regional Assembly is disagreeing with Atom Ebako for challenging the dues order. Because according to him, the prefect, the chiefs, whatever grade they belong, are auxiliaries of the administration. Who heads the administration in terms of Cameroon? The lowest person who heads the administration is the sous-prefect. Even if it's only in the village, call it Bale subdivision, Barefoot subdivision. There's a sous-prefect there. That sous-prefect is the boss of the fund of Bale. He is the boss of the fund of Sok. He finds himself there. And so you cannot challenge them because they are also carrying the same name. The chiefs and sous-prefects are also called chef de terre. Chef de terre. And so, again, that is where we find ourselves. We cannot divorce what is going on today with the chiefs on in 1973. So it's the day of collective mourning. All of us who can remember, those who don't know it can read it. It's a day of mourning for all Ambazonians, for all British Southern Cameroonians. Because among the institutions they killed the Prime Minister's office, they killed the Minister's offices. They went further to kill even the chieftaincy that was very much respected. They destroyed it. I think we're very familiar with something we call land disputes in Cameroon. In Bamenda, in Boya, land disputes, people fighting over land. That as a result of May 20th. Because after May 20th, 2 years into that, what happened? Ayejo passed some ordinances, we call them the 1974 land ordinances. Not even decrees, not even law. Those are the ordinances that have brought us into this mess of land grabbing left and right. Could we have done this if frontier government was still in Boya? If there was still a government in Boya? Never. But they took the opportunity to do that. Because by the 1972 constitution, which they passed by through the referendum, they stated in one of the articles, I've quoted the article, that in between, that in the interim, all ordinances and decrees of the president shall have the force of law. What is an ordinance? It's not even up to an executive order over here. And so that is where we find ourselves. Atome Bako, they are mentioning him just by name, but he's only the leader of an institution created by Yaoundé, and then people put there by Yaoundé and they're being paid. So Atome Bako is just symbolic. One of the all members of the clan who are all in the House of Chiefs. One of those who are not there, because in the House of Chiefs. Not every fund is in the House of Funds. If you're not there, but you're benefiting from it, you're taking instructions from the due. You're doing all whatnot, which is provided for in the 1972 Constitution. May 20th adopted a constitution, and thereafter the decrees, the ordinances that have enslaved us followed. And so that's what it is. I don't know whether this is explicit enough. If it is not, I will willingly give you better
It
explanation.
is, it is, it is. But I also want you to, add your voice to the warnings that has already been, sent out there by the spokesperson for the ASA about tomorrow's total lockdown. He
Well,
advised Ambazonians to stay in and stay in for sure.
he advised, and I support his advice. Other than the advice, I would have been not call it advice, said that he instructed them. It's not advice because an advice is something for you to take or not to take. This is a do or die situation. It's not a choice. If you violate it, as it says it there, you might take the consequences. It's not an advice. You are instructed to stay home. You are instructed to boycott it. Blacklegs are not. If you are going out to do it against us, you are a blackleg. We don't celebrate blacklegs. By blacklegging against institutions, you are a criminal. If you then violated the dues order, for example, to take to the military tribunal, If you violate our own laws, what right to punish you? So there are instructions. They are not just advice. There are instructions which should be followed. If you don't follow them and you happen to be caught, there's no excuse for that. The question is for you to decide. Are you prepared to take the risk? The maximum of which is losing your life, losing part of your organs, your hands, your legs, or your eye, just to show defiance, stupid defiance. What is the price of stupidity? You pay the price of stupidity. What is the price of the obedience? You sleep quietly and things pass. May 20th is just away. It will not last for more than 24 hours. So 48 hours break in your house with your family, with your wife, with your children. It's enough. If you don't have a family, rest in your room, take a sleep, and go out the next day and do what you want to do. So there are instructions, they are not advice. Over to you.
Well, so the spokesperson has also expressed distrust in most Ambazonian chiefs and funds, claiming they don't represent the people's interests or recall historical facts about Ambazonians. He specifically criticized the call for old men to participate in marches, labeling it laughable and disgraceful. And so the Amazonian struggle for independence has led to a protracted conflict, which we know, displacement and human rights abuses. The war, just in case you're not sure or you're not aware, began in 2016 when teachers and lawyers did demonstrations calling for reforms, citing marginalization of the Ambazonian population. Since then, violence has escalated with groups coming in and clashing with the main Ambazonian fighters and, La Republic the Cameroon forces coming in to cause mayhem and all of that. Now, there is this musical video that will explain just again why May 20th is not a day for Ambazonians to celebrate in any form. Let's get that.
It was May 20, 1932. The day La République du Cameroon tricked our parents to officially become slaves because oil was discovered in Victoria. They created a fraudulent referendum and asked our parents to choose between yes and we. They used their French language to fool our parents who didn't understand it. And for 53 years, our parents, their children and grandchildren have become eternal slaves. What are you celebrating? They call us Anglo fools. They call us Biafrians. They call us dogs. They call us rats. They call our parents enemies in the house. They burned our grandparents in their sleep. They killed our toddlers. What are you celebrating? They call us Anglo fools. They call us Biafrians. They call us dogs. They call us rats. They call our parents enemies in the house. They burned our grandparents in their sleep. They killed our toddlers. What are you celebrating?
All right, moving on, let's get to the Malende residents. Now on Friday, residents of the Malende in the Muyuka, found in the Atlantic zone of Fako, took to the streets to protest ongoing colonial military harassment. The natives marched to the Colonial Divisional Office to voice their frustration. 3 days ago, the people of Malende, situated in the southern region of Ambazonia, decided they had had enough. They organized a protest against the colonial military's brutality and extortion that have plagued their lives for far too long, unanimously marching to the Colonial Divisional Office to make their concerns known. The impact of La Republic of Cameroon's military actions on their daily lives is severe, especially for local farmers who now dread going to their fields. Many residents have shared troubling stories of being tortured, robbed, and even facing sexual violence. Some women reported having had their hair barbed and assaulted. They described these experiences as a form of modern-day slavery, calling for an end to the intimidation that has turned their community to a shadow of its former self. The protesters voiced their anger over being mistreated and extorted without any reason. In a video recorded from the protest site, we can see and hear one of the male protesters complain about farmers being illegally taxed by these foreign military forces. He says they are most times charged an amount of 1,000 fed to gain access to their farms while returning to their homes. They are as well asking to pay a sum of 1,000 francs and above, depending on what their harvest has been. Let's get that video.
The population for Malende this. You can't remember for road with the fish as the look and the population for road with the go bush. For very the look population. We do yes. People don't remember they need the one go bush where they the fear Easter. It happen now. Yeah. They remember for road. We are making them. So people do not sell for bush. Beat people. Shave on with woman, they head them. Cash people, take me the slap them. Say 1,000 for settle. Pay 1,000 guy, one come the guy say you will pay for now oil, for one job oil, cassava, they pay for army. Army don't make people, just move them today. They say they can't protect me, but they
This is very sad. Of course, you can see the sad looks on their faces. But this case is not particular to Malende. It is a tip of the broader struggles faced by the people of Ambazonia, who are dealing with hardships across their country for over 8 years now, since La Republic de Cameroon declared a war on her. Well, as of the time of filing this report, La Republic de Cameroon is yet to make a statement on the issue. Barrister Mbeseha, this is very sad. From the looks on the faces of these farmers in Malende, you could see that this is not just all that there is to it, but it's a good thing that they have come out to air their voices. This happened on Friday. What would you say?
It's a good thing they did what they did. Before I go to that, let me go back again on May 20th. May 20th in Cameroon language is supposed to be a national day. Are you getting me? Are you getting me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
May 20th is supposed to be a unity day. It's supposed to be a national day in the nation called Cameroon. To the best of my knowledge, and I don't know any other country in the world, where the national day, people are forced to go and celebrate it. Forced with arms to go and celebrate a day. It's not in France. It's not in the United States, July 4th. It's nowhere in the world where people are forced to go and celebrate national days. And if they must be forced to go and celebrate national, why only in the Anglophone regions? Why only in the Northwest and Southwest? We have not seen the deployment of similar forces in Littoral, in Garoua, in Maroua, in Beltoua. What makes it different? Other than occupation and slavery. Why must people be forced to celebrate? Something celebration is in. Why should somebody go do it by force of arms? We saw them adopting students from Babili and everywhere to compare them match. Is that not fake? What do the people which sit in the so-called House of Chiefs, regional parliaments, say about this? If this is not outright discrimination, even for those of them who believe in an indivisible Cameroon, what else is it? Why are the same measures not being implemented in other parts of the country? It is pure, absolute discrimination. It is pure, absolute criminality on civilians. Back now to what is happening in Malende. The Malende are peace-loving people. They are just villagers living on their own, harvesting cassava and selling to survive. They don't even have water. They don't even have electricity. What are the military doing there to be extorting money from them? The military were put there for a particular purpose. And if not in the case of Malende, it might be in the case of other towns and villages in Ambazonia, where these villagers invited the military to come. They told that to come and build military camps around their villages. For what we don't know. You don't expect the military to come and protect you against the aggression of the same military. At the beginning of this conflict, houses were burned down in Malende, in Yoke, in Owe. They were burned by the military. And yet, as if that is not enough, these people still have to go bring them to sit there, extort them when they go to their farms, extort from them when they return from their farms. What level of criminality is this? And what do the people do, helpless as they are? They go to the sous-prefet. The sous-prefet in Muyuka is also called chef de terre, like the chief of Malende or the chief of Yoke. They are also called chef de terre. Do they have command over these military talks? Certainly not. But even if they had, and they're doing nothing, the conclusion is that they are sharing the booties of the extortion. So the people of Malende, just like any other village anywhere in Ambazonia, are right, they are in the right to stand up to these people. Don't pay the money. They can only harass you as far as they can. But they can only arrest you as far as they can arrest. They cannot arrest everybody. They will go away. The military worldwide was not designed to live with civilians. The military were trained to fight wars. And is there any civilian, is there any military opponent in Malende, in UK, or in any other village in Amazonia? No. If the Cameroon was a true country, you don't need to deploy a whole battalion of soldiers in Malende to fight a few Amba boys, ragtag boys who don't even have arms. They be a military base there in order to extort people and criminals you're defending them. There's no way you can defend the population against itself. Ambazonian fighters, ASAs, who are found wherever in Amazonia, be in Malende or any other village, they are part of the people. They survive because the people are with them. And so you cannot fight them. They are fighting yourselves. Because there is no way you can fight them physically when you have not actually fought them intellectually. Ambazonian cause is a cause, it's a doctrine which cannot be fought militarily. But back to the issue again. What these guys are doing is criminal extortion. Do the people have any way to report? No way. Report to the DU cannot even, it's a crime they are committing. Can the DU prosecute them? No way. Can the state council in Muyuka prosecute those criminals? No way. The people are helpless. You have to take this thing to your own hands and don't do it. Don't pay your money to them. Refuse. What you are doing is credible, it's acceptable. You try to extort them because some of you surrender. Don't pay any money to them. You have done what you can. Even by telling the so-called Colonial duo, who is so incapacitated that he cannot do anything. But it is up to you. Malende is just symbolic. There are other villages going through the same treatment of Ambazonia. So if it comes your way, what we talk about Malende, it refers to any other community of Ambazonians anywhere, be in Donga Mountain, who in Bui, who in Diamo, wherever they may find themselves. The same message is there. The extortion is not limited to Malende. The extortion is not limited to Santa. It is not limited to Babili. It is in the Ambazonian worldwide. And so we have to resist and resist. And one of the ways we show our resistance is to respect these ghost towns, is to respect these lockdowns, to tell them that we don't have the arms, but we have the spirit to resist you. The spirit of resistance, peaceful resistance, is what is at stake. Again, where you can, don't pay. And if you must, to save your life, maybe, but that should be the last thing you ever do in your life. Because these people, for a woman, if you don't have the money, they'll beat you up, they'll rape you. Sleeping with women, it has a price. They will pay some 500 francs or whatever thing they can give, 1,000 francs, but they do it for nothing and walk away. So you have to develop this resistance, and the collective resistance is the most important thing. You alone, you cannot do anything. The movement of the people from Malende as a crowd tells the world that something is wrong. If you are gone there alone, as an individual person, individual woman, individual man, they will just laugh at you. But the moment as a crowd signifies something important. And so we can only encourage them again and say the bigger fight is ahead. What they are doing in Malende, what they are doing in UK, what they are doing in Bamenda, wherever it is, they're just symptoms of the harm. So collectively, we have to defeat these people to the last one standing. Over to you.
Oh well, thank you so much, Barrister Mbeseha. But the Malende people are not the only ones that are affected right now. In the Womb area of Menchum County, tensions have also escalated following the alleged abduction of a Fulani herdsman by members of his own ethnic groups. Well, according to local sources, Ishmael Adamu was abducted on the 13th of May 2025 by three fellow Fulani men and taken to an unknown location. The news sparked widespread anger and frustration among the Fulani community, leading to violent protests in Zongefo on the 14th of May. Dozens of Fulani used to get at local structures and residents, vandalizing the Zongefo palace and leaving it deadly damaged. Local residents, outraged by the violence, launched retaliatory attacks, resulted in 7 injuries and 2 deaths. In an effort to de-escalate the situation, Colonial security forces have abducted the 3 Fulani men accused of kidnapping Ishmael Adamu. The tension in whom are rooted in long-standing inter-community rivalry between the Fulanis and local farmers in Menchu local government area, often sparked by clashes over grazing lands. The incident also shows the complex dynamics at play in the locality, where historical tensions between communities can quickly escalate into violence. This persistent crisis is because of the greedy nature of the colonial administrators, who always side with the rich, guilty Fulanis against the poor farmers. Barrister Mbeseha. This is happening in womb. So while Ambazonians are trying to struggle with these and these, I mean, we have incidents as this also happening. What would you say about this?
Yeah, I would say that what is happening in Menchum, what they call it, is they're all orchestrated things by the government. You see, the Mororos and the Fulanese did not come to exist only in Menchum. They've been there forever. And even in the so-called Cameroon, the ratio of the Fulanese and the Mororos that live side by side in the other Cameroon, Republic of Cameroon, is more in numbers than the one that live in Menchum. We don't find this conflict there. Why only Menchum? Why on Donga Mountain Division? Because the government uses them as a tool to settle their scores over Ambazonians. We've not forgotten what happened in Garubu. They admitted recruiting and arming the Mororos to go down and kill people in Garubu. And they did. They killed the people, burnt their houses, burnt the corpses of the people, killed children, killed pregnant women, and disappeared. They did all this with the complicity of the government. The government admitted giving them arms. And as of today, they have not recovered those arms. And so, is it just coincidental? No. It's something very, very deliberate. And again, as mentioned of the land ordinances of 1974, the land ordinances of 1974 also deal with grazing land. What prevents these people, these administrators, those so-called chefs d'etat, from regulating grazing land from farming land? And the Boros, they are a community that is always migratory. They migrate in search of pasture for their animals. But wild migration has all remained in Africa, and most particularly in Cameroon. There's a way you can have that thing under control. You can demarcate the land, the Fulanis or the Boros, everybody will have what they want. You can graze your cows on a specific piece of land, feed them, and they confine them to that area. But they're not doing it because they serve as a tool for them to exploit. They serve as a tool for disorder, so that the administrators will get some benefit, financial benefit, and then the government from Yaoundé will take advantage of that to say that the Anglos are doing this, and then settle their private scores with the individuals. If you are a Mbororo chief or a Fulani chief and you don't obey to Yaoundé, they will let the cows come and graze on your land, eat all the crops of the poor woman who farm there. I saw one of those pictures, the cows were eating the corn. It takes at least 3 to 6 months to grow and harvest corn. These people go for now, the rest of the year, without food to eat, not even to talk what to serve. So it's a government plan. If government denies this, let them challenge us by bringing the borrowers equipped to go and kill people in Garabo who are still with their arms. Let them disprove us. This is from their own story. And so it is indirect punishment for us, which is why we fight. And as I've said, they didn't start to coexist only today. They have been there for all their lives. In the days of West Cameroon, Southern Cameroon, we call it, we never heard such things. If they ever came out, they were properly settled. Why are they happening all to Ambazonians, in particular the people in mention specifically, Domomantum and the rest? Why? Why? What's not happening in Garawa? What's not happening in Gaundari? What's not happening in Garawabulai? Is it because our own borrowers in Ambazonia are different? Is it because our own foreigners in Ambazonia are different? No. It's a government ploy to discredit us. It's a government ploy to punish Ambazonians directly or indirectly. And so we must fight against that. That's one of the reasons why we should fight. The Mororos, the Fulanis who are there, they're all Ambazonians. So who has set each other against the other? Is the government. By defiance, government, by failure to do what they're supposed to do. And so that's it. That should be only an eye-opener to us. If it is not happening in Dongama, if it is not happening in Menchum, it will probably happen in Manfe with different communities there. We have different communities that live together. It will probably happen in Victoria. It will probably happen in Mbeseha. And so it's a ploy government is using to punish us. And who are those in charge? They are the people called administrators. Each administrator, be a prefect, a sous-prefect, a chef d'etat, sharing a pie of the presidential decree. That gives them power to do everything they can do and to do nothing if they don't want to do it. And so that is the reason for which we fight, and we'll continue to fight until God saves us. Over to you.
Oh yes, thank you so much, Barrister Mbeseha. And in a better report, or should we say, in a more positive report, a young, passionate young man known as Nkwane Kennedy from Bamenda is making Ambazonians proud in basketball. Of course, he's taking a big step towards his dream of playing in the NBA with the help of the NBA legend Joel Embiid. Well, according to reports, Kennedy is now in the United States despite facing the challenges that many talented youths and Ambazonians encounter due to limited support and resources by the colonial government. Nkwane Kennedy's journey from the Midland zone of Bamenda in Mbeseha to the United States is nothing short of inspiring. With a dream of making it in the NBA, he had been working tirelessly and showcasing his skills through unique basketball workouts that caught the attention of millions in TikTok. Despite facing significant hurdles, including a lack of proper training facilities, Kennedy never gave up. He trained on dusty courts using whatever makeshift equipment he could find, tires, bottles, you name it. His determination and creativity helped him stand out as he gained social media exposure, eventually leading to support from NBA superstar Joel Embiid. Embiid, who knows firsthand the path from Cameroon to the NBA, reached out to Kennedy with encouragement, asking if he was ready and promising that he wouldn't let him down. When he arrived in the US, he was welcomed by Carl Mullins, a basketball talent developer in Miami who is eager to help him navigate this new chapter of his life. Although fans are excited to see where his journey takes him next, many have expressed their dissatisfaction with the regime and the frustrations many youths with potentials have to go through. While Kennedy might have been lucky to be in the spotlight, not many youths in Ambazonia especially may get this chance to show their talent or skills. Burst and base here. It is no more news that Ambazonians are talented, but it becomes news when one scales through all of these hurdles and gets into where they are supposed to be seen, into where the world is supposed to take notice that there is a nation like Ambazonia and there are talented, skilled people who the world needs to know about. Does this inspire you or interest you in any way?
Well, it does. It does. It does interest me. It does inspire me. But it inspires the youth more than myself. Because what that guy is doing, playing basketball, is a sport where he's excelling. There are many other sports where Ambazonians excel, given the opportunity. That one is playing basketball. You see the rudimentary things he's training with: plastic bottles, empty tires, bare ropes in the bush. But how much does it cost to construct a basketball court? Also, not in 10 bucks or cement will construct one. It's not even a very large pot. A few thousands of francs can buy those pieces of iron to make a net. But they're not doing it. They're not doing it. Why? Because the money is extorted. They have no interest in doing it. Even if they were basketball, they want to put it somewhere in Yaoundé. They don't believe our own children have the talents to do it. Even if they have the talents, they are not given the opportunity. But what is significant is this is sport. Basketball, football, handball, they are things that you do when you are young. When you go past a certain age, your time is over. And so that's the reason why the youth, not every youth will have the opportunity to go out as this young man did. But the youth back home, the majority of who are back home, should know this fight is for them. Fight when you are young. Fight for your, because by the time that we end this war, some of those better youths today will become old. They will no longer be able to play basketball anymore. They will no longer be able to play soccer or any other sport because old age is part of the criteria. Once you're old, your broken bone will not heal. And so that's the reason why the youth have to join us in this struggle to open a better future. That is sport. But what other avenues? We've seen how many Ambazonians who have gone abroad and excelled in medicine, in physics, in science, in everything that you can imagine in the world. And so the youth have to take up the mantle and fight this battle. I'm encouraged, but there's not so much I can do with that. I can only talk because there's no way I can go to play basketball anymore. Neither can I play soccer or any of the sports. We're past the age. That's the reason, the more reason why the youths should join us in this struggle. If by the time that this struggle is over, they're already old. The ones that follow after them will be youths. They will harvest from the fruits of the struggle. And so that young man has done something so much out of nothing. But not every youth has the opportunity to go abroad and get something out of what he knows. And so the youth should be encouraged by that young man's performance. But they should also know that only few of them will go out. And what do we do? Those of them who remain who want to fight back. All of you can do what he's doing, but 10 of you can never be a basketball court. All you can do what that guy is doing. 20 of you cannot be a handball court. Or top that's of football, soccer field. Institute is supposed to help you do that. They're not doing it. Not because they don't want to do it, but simply because every money we allocated, they will steal the money. They steal the money with impunity. It's not because we lack money. No. It's because the leadership that we have is meant to underdevelop you rather than develop you. Just go to any village, any council, a small city and give 100,000 to be a small handball court. Do not do it, to steal the money with impunity. And so, congratulations to that young man, but he's a living symbol. We wish many of them had the opportunity to go out, but only, even if many do, the majority will still remain back home. And so it is the duty of the majority back home to fight back, to join us in this struggle, to free ourselves from all this, free our mindset, free our physical body by fighting for the restoration, by coming out to show that we disagree with this. Resist the attempt to adopt you to our march. Resist the attempt to adopt you to and extort money from you for not sleeping with the identity card in your bed. That is all illegal. Most of these people who are suffering this thing are the youths. And so this struggle is also for the youths, if not for themselves as of now, for their own descendants. Over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister. base here. And yeah, in as much as there is a lot for the youths in the future, if they do not fight now, if they do not join this struggle, they may just get old trying and never achieving it. Thank you so much for those resounding words. I'm sure that they understand. Wow, people like you, people like President Sako, people like Barrister Fu are in this journey with so much energy, with so much vigor, and with so much strength. This is where we'll let you go because we know that tomorrow, being the 20th day of May, we'll definitely have you come in, and we will definitely analyze all of the videos that would be coming in from the home front as regards the May 20th day in Ambazonia. So thank you so much for being part of tonight's Undaunted.
Having me. And good night.
You're welcome. And coming up right after the break is news across Africa. Martha Karua, a Kenyan lawyer and presidential candidate, was deported from Tanzania on Sunday after arriving in Dar es Salaam to observe the treason trial of opposition leader Tundu Lissu. Karua believes her deportation is a sign that Tanzanian authorities won't give Lissu a fair trial. Lissu, the leader of Tanzanian Chadema party, faces treason charges that carries a possible death penalty. His party was disqualified from participating in the upcoming October elections after refusing to sign an electoral code of conduct citing demands for electoral reforms. Karua stated that she and her group were stopped at the airport and pulled on a flight out the same day without any explanation. She described Lissu as the main challenger to Tanzania's presidential and President Samia Suluhu Hassan and accused Hassan's party of subverting the law to lock up the main contenders ahead of the election. Karua's People's Liberation Party denounced her treatment, calling it a disgraceful act that violates the principles of the East African community. Karua has been vocal about democratic backsliding in East Africa, citing concerns in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. This incident raises a lot of questions, especially about the fairness of Lissu's trial and the Tanzanian government's commitment to democratic principles. Karua's experience highlights the challenges faced by opposition leaders in the region, particularly ahead of elections. That's not all for today. Julius Malema, leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, the EFF, has strongly denied claims of widespread violence against white Afrikaner farmers in South Africa. Malema dismissed this report as fiction and drama, specifically targeting the United States' recent decision to resettle Afrikaners. This controversy surrounds a new law in South Africa allowing the government to seize privately owned land without compensation, sparking concerns among Afrikaners about potential land expropriation in response. The U.S. granted refugee status to a group of Afrikaners, citing racially discriminatory policies and violence. Malema denial contradicts reports of violence against Afrikaner farmers, with some citing crime statistics that suggest a disproportionate number of white farmers are murdered. However, the South African government disputes claim of genocide or systemic persecution. The U.S. program aims to resettle Afrikaners fleeing alleged persecution, with 59 South Africans arriving in the U.S. as refugees under an executive order signed by President Donald Trump. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa criticized the move, calling the Afrikaners seeking refuge status cowards. The decision to admit Afrikaner refugees has sparked debate, with some arguing it reflects selective compassion and others seeing it as a necessary response to legitimate persecution concerns. Which is it for you? All right, we'll definitely be coming up with more of these in our subsequent news bulletin. But right after this short break is news across the globe. Well, a recent meeting of BRICS foreign ministers in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, has highlighted growing internal divisions within the bloc. Despite a two-day discussion, the ministers were unable to agree on a joint communique, marking a rare instance of disagreement amongst member nations. The BRICS grouping, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has expanded its membership in recent years, adding countries like Egypt and Ethiopia. While this expansion aims to increase the bloc's global influence, it also presents challenges in achieving consensus amongst member nations. Objections from new African member states, Egypt and Ethiopia, were cited as a primary reason for the lack of consensus. This development shows the challenges of integrating diverse perspectives within the bloc. The failure to issue a joint statement raises questions about the bloc's ability to maintain cohesion and effectively address global issues with its expanded membership. Despite their disagreement, BRICS ministers reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening cooperation and supporting the integration of new members in the bloc. The outcome of the meeting may have implications for the bloc's future effectiveness in addressing global issues. As BRICS grows, one thing they have to consider is finding ways to manage internal differences while presenting a united front will be crucial to its success. Meanwhile, in a recent interview with CNN, Ferd Zakaria, author and retired U.S. Army General Stanley McChrystal, has shared his perspective on effective leadership and offered his assessment on President Donald Trump's character. Well, according to General McChrystal, effective leaders possess certain essential qualities, which he includes to be decisiveness, empathy, strategic thinking, and integrity. Well, General McChrystal evaluation of President Trump's character is showing in areas of concern, although specifics of these assessments aren't publicly detailed. Well, the interview, as we watch, provided valuable insights into the general's view on leadership, which can be applied to understanding his perspective on the president's character. Will Trump even care? Oh well, as a renowned military leader, General McChrystal's opinion carries significant weight. His experiences leading complex operations and organizations, provides a unique perspective on effective leadership. The general's assessment of President Trump's character may have implications for understanding the president's leadership style, and, of course, for some people, his decision-making processes. Oh, well, that's all for now. Probably President Trump may give a reply, or he may not, but that's his decision-making process, like we have seen. That's all for tonight on Undaunted. But before we go, let's take a look at the major stories. Oh, tonight on Undaunted, we told you that Ambazonians maintain Monday goes down at the eve of the 20th May declared lockdown. Tonight, the Malende residents protest against military harassment in Muyuka. Tonight on Undaunted, we told you that Fulani youths go violent in womb after other Fulani herdsmen kidnapped one of their very own. Meanwhile, in Queen Kennedy, young Ambazonian has raised the country's flag high in the United States. On the African scene, we told you that Kenyan presidential candidate deported from Tanzania. And also, BRICS meeting has failed to reach a consensus amidst all of their internal rift. That's it for tonight's Undaunted, bringing to the news on church stories. Special thanks for joining us tonight, especially to our in-house analyzer and commentator, Barrister T. Mbeseha, and of course the team of technicians behind tonight's production. It's good night and God bless from here.